What's good, everybody? I am Paul Neal, the host of Let's Talk Gold Talk. For those who don't know, Let's Talk Gold Talk is an Instagram live series that features creatives from all walks of life, no matter their creative industry. And it airs on Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you tune in, we can engage with you. If you do not tune in, it is available on this platform as you are watching it right now. But without further ado, let's just get this show on the road. To bring on today's guest is somebody who I have not known for that long, actually. I just met them and seen them 3 times because of a prior rehearsal, but I kind of met them through a mutual friend. And from that mutual friend, she overheard one of my preliminary interviews about this show. And she was like, "Did you say podcast?" And I was like, something like that. So I explained what the whole show is, the premise of the show. And I asked her if she was a creative, and she kind of doubted the fact that she was a creative. And I said, "Come on now, you are." Especially after hearing her story. I know her story will bring some intense inspiration, to say the least. So this is Alana McLaughlin, everybody. Alana, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I cannot complain. Today I decided to get some rest, so I guess I'm feeling relatively decent. Did I miss anything with my introduction of you? Is there anything that you feel like should have been said?
Not at all. You hit the nail on the head.
Well, I didn't speak on your field per se.
Okay, yeah.
So Alana likes to go as a broadcast journalist or someone who's heavy in the fields of communication, if I didn't really speak on that well. And when I asked her if she was a creative, she kind of said no, because when she thought of creative, she immediately thought of like music or graphic design or film or photography or things of that nature. And yes, she is on the film side, just not the one filming. She's the one being filmed. So she, correct me if I'm wrong, has been on local television multiple times.
Yes, last 10 years. Yeah.
Last 10 years. And that's crazy. How old are you?
I will be 18 next month. So, yeah.
So since slick the age of 8. Wait,
yeah.
I did my math right?
Yeah.
I'm going to, you don't mind if I show one of the shows, right?
No.
Okay, actually, before I even show one of the shows, the 3 things that you wanted to be noted on the flyer, it was innovator, influencer, so, and humanitarian. And influencer in the way of being a humanitarian, caring about specific rights or caring about things of that nature.
Yes.
What can you elaborate on that before I even show? Because nobody knows what this show is about to sound like or seem like. So it's going to be crazy if I show this.
Okay. Well, to explain kind of what I do and how it ties into being an influencer, what I do is, well, for the last 10 years, like I just said, I've been a recurring guest on a show called Comments with Dr. James Haney, which if you're in Nashville, it comes on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 and 7 on Fox 17, My TV 30, the CW, and WUXP.
Geez, 4 networks.
Yes. And so what we do on there, my grandfather started this show. He is the host. He started this back in the late 80s. And his goal in the show was to highlight Black issues, Black excellence, and movers and shakers in the city of Nashville in our community. And so when I started the show, I just simply started talking about things that I felt like mattered to me and mattered to my community that a lot of folks my age didn't know. Like when I started, I was 8. And so a lot of folks weren't really worrying about like socioeconomic issues or like politics or anything like that at 8. And that's totally normal. And so I started off talking about well-known topics like slavery, the Civil War, things of that nature. And as I got older, I started to expand to things that were a little more intense, a little more mature.
Definitely.
And the whole time I wanted, my goal, and even in my career, is to spread information about things that I wish that I was watching on TV. I wish that I was seeing a woman who looked like me that was my age talking about gentrification in Nashville and just other little things like that folks don't really put too much thought into. So my goal for the last 10 years has been to spread that information amongst my peers and my community. And it's it's even spread to just like global issues. It's not always Black issues, but I try to focus on things that hit me and things that pertain to me and, you know, those that look like me. But I've done a bit of everything in the last 10 years. I've talked about just about everything that you can think of. And we're still recording shows. With the virus, we've been a little like we halted production, but I'm still writing up things and getting ready for once we get back in the swing of things.
Of course,
like
of course. Well, with that being said, and I'm glad that you mentioned global topics, I will showcase the first 3 episodes, or not the first 3 episodes, the first 3 minutes of the episode that you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know just from the way that you present yourself when I watch this, that folks are really going to understand, wow, even at a young age, you can be well aware of the current issues that are going on. So allow me to flip the camera. I'm going to try to angle it right, and hopefully you all can hear.
The topic today is the Russian Revolution. And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about the Russian Revolution, Alana McLaughlin. And of course, Lana, let me welcome you to the show this morning and to tell you how delighted we are to have you with us. You've not been with us on a number of occasions, but nevertheless, you are with us today. And you have selected a very, very unusual topic today, dealing with the Russian Revolution. Before we get started in the topic, Alana, let's see if we can have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in terms of bringing you to us this morning. And by that time, we should be out of this first 6-minute segment, and then we'll have an opportunity to dive directly into the Russian Revolution. Let's do it from that perspective.
Well, as you previously stated, my name is Alana McLaughlin. I am a freshman at the Nashville School of the Arts. I play trumpet. And what really brought me here was my love for history and talking about topics that a lot of people don't know about. Like the Russian Revolution, people know of it, but people don't really know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my main purpose here today, to shed light on a topic that is kind of important. And well, all historical events are important because they tie into our modern daily life in some way, shape, or form. But about me, I'm Alana McLaughlin. I am very involved in sports. Like I said, I play trumpet. I am in marching band. I cheerlead, etc. Just things like that. And that's about it. But school comes before everything. And I'm really more of an academic-based person. So that's
very good. And so let's look at the so-called Russian Revolution, Lana, and give us sort of an overview in terms of the kind of information that you're going to give us this morning dealing with this very, very important historical event.
Well, the overview of the Russian Revolution is really just the big name for 2 sets of revolutions. And these 2 revolutions kind of work together to tear down the Tsarist autocracy. And now, if you're not familiar with that, it's a type of democracy or whatever. And it's a type that basically means one person rules everything. So they rule government, they rule the people, just one big leader. If you look back in history, there were lots of forms, well, attempted forms of autocracy. Say Hitler and the Jews, he tried to kind of run everything with him just being the sole leader, not really having a government, just him. Lots of dictators try to instill an autocracy, but a lot of times it doesn't work. But as I was saying, the Russian Revolution is just a big name for that. And see, once the Russian Revolution occurred in 1917, this overthrew that autocracy that I mentioned, and this was the beginning of the Soviet Union, which would come to play in 1922.
So before I'm not even going to let more of it play. It seems as if you were well knowledgeable. Even that was your freshman year, so I don't even think that was 4 years ago. You said you're 18.
So yeah, about 4 years ago.
14 years old, you were comfortable enough going on local television, 4 networks, in order to talk about the Russian Revolution.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I learned that until I got to high school. So just for the fact that you actually knew about that at a young age, what's your educational background? How did you get to become so intelligent?
Oh man. Well, I will say that I'm blessed to have a mother who is a school teacher. My mother teaches 5th grade English at Johnson Alternative Learning Center here in Nashville.
Okay.
And my grandfather, who we just watched, he's my best friend in the world. He was a history professor at Tennessee State University for about 37 years. So I'd say that my love for both English and history definitely stems from home. But as for school, I did graduate from the National School of Arts in May, where I focused heavily on music, specifically jazz. I still play trumpet 4 years later, and I will be carrying that into college. Um, and honestly, I've always been a big bookworm. Just throughout school, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the topics that I talked about weren't really talked about until I got to like later in high school, APUS history, those courses that are like a little more advanced. But in our average, just American history or like global history, no, nobody was like tapping on this stuff. And so once I started to find out about it when I got older, I was like, why isn't this bigger? You know, like the Russian Revolution. There's no reason that folks should know, you know, what this meant or this had this ties into modern day society. And so a lot of those obscure kind of topics are what I try to focus on the show.
Being a bookworm, what's your favorite book? I'm pretty sure some folks in the audience would like to know.
That's a hard one.
Are you currently reading something? How about that?
Okay, Lord, I am currently reading. This is a funny book. It's not actually educational. It's more on the entertainment side. It's called Memoirs of a Crackhead by, and as crazy as it sounds, it's actually really empowering. It's this guy's story of addiction. It's by Russell Tolson Jr. But I'll say that my favorite book ever would have to be The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. Okay. It is probably hands down the best book I've ever read. And it's not too much on the informational side. It's really entertainment, but it is a great Black book. It is powerful. And I believe that there's a trilogy. That is a book that I recommend. No, that is a book that I recommend for any young Black woman or man or
repeat the book really one more time.
The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah.
Winter Ever. Everybody watching, you heard the book. She recommends it, so I say you go out there and get it. 10 out of 10 will recommend. Going back to more so the questions that I kind of prepared, but kind of did not. Of course, I wanted this to be authentic. As far as you being a creative, one thing that I noticed in regards to interviewing creatives and preparing for this show, there's kind of, I would say, 3 different types of creatives. There's creatives who create in order to just express themselves or things of that nature. Creatives who are heavily on the influential side, so they consider themselves influencers in order to steer people to go a certain direction and things of that nature. And there's creatives who are entrepreneurs in order to get people to buy things. So, well, maybe not just buy things, but in order to just supply a service or some with a G, I can't remember the word. I don't want to, okay, we'll just call it a service or a good. That's the word that I was saying.
Yeah.
What do you feel as if the links, like the similarities or the differences between the creative, an influencer, and an entrepreneur? Do you feel as if you can be one without the other? And talk on that some.
Okay, let's see. Well, first, I do feel like you can be one without the other, because if you look at all the words like creative, influencer, and entrepreneur, if you split them all up and kind of examine them individually, you'll see that like you said, an entrepreneur is someone that's usually putting into a business, like a business owner, or influencing you to go to a service or a good. Or creative could be simply someone who creates, maybe not for money, maybe not to make people feel any kind of way. They're simply creating art. And an influencer is someone, you know, who's trying to sway people in a certain direction. There's someone who usually has pull in their field, their specific thing.
Some credibility.
Yeah. And so I feel like those are like the differences between the two, but I feel like the link is that all of them are producers. Like entrepreneurs, they're producing something in order to push you to support something. They're creating things to pull you in. Creatives are producers in the way that they're sharing their art with the world, whether it be through writing, through theater, through art. You know, they're sharing what they have to offer. And influencers they're creatives, but they're also creating a general, they're usually at the forefronts of like fads or trends. We see like, for instance, when you see a lot of like fashion trends, you can kind of notice like a couple months before it hit, those certain influencers with a high pull in their field are kind of doing it first. And so they help to create motion. And so, yes, I do feel like you could be one individually, but I feel like all of the three are creatives. Entrepreneurs are creatives. Influencers are definitely creatives, and creatives are creatives.
Of course, of course, of course, of course. So you lean more so towards the influencer side, or do you say you are all three regardless?
I think that I lean more towards the influencer side because really my big thing in the show is to share this knowledge to be able to educate folks so that they can feel however way they feel. I don't necessarily, well, my shows tend to be very liberal because that's just, my personal beliefs. And though I try to share all the information just as factual as it is, towards the end, like the end of the third segment, I will give my own take, and it does tend to fall a bit liberal. And so you could say that I'm influencing people to sway towards my side. Or even you could say that I'm discouraging people from agreeing with my side. The only thing that I want to do is to share the knowledge. And whatever you do with it after that is totally up to you. But as long as you have it and you're able to utilize it in some way, shape, or form, then I've done my job.
Of course. And I guess that is the role of most influencers. But I know with media, the way how it is in today's day and age, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen that viral video with Sinclair Broadcast Group that has everybody saying the same thing in everything, just replacing the city or things of that nature. So it seems as if the media is very controlled today. How do you feel as if you, with your liberal views or with your point of view, or however you're trying to distribute or disseminate the information that you actually want to share, plays or fits within the current trends going on within your industry?
Oh, wow. I can say that I definitely can go against the grain a bit. I have never been one to stray away from sensitive topics, such as, like, say, with the current state of the world, if we were filming all of my shows for the next season, honestly, would be about things that are going on in our society, in our community, things that, we all see on a day-to-day basis. But I feel like I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in. I'm blessed that I'm coming up in a day and age where technology is so easily accessible, and where you can just turn on the TV and see what you want. I feel as though if I was born 20 years earlier, this wouldn't be possible. This would be something that I could merely dream of. And so I feel like I'm in a very great position to do what I have to do and to spread my information. I feel as though I can sometimes fit with the mold, but something that I pride myself in is being able to handle things that are thrown at me and handle all the different changes that I go through and be able to adapt to them.
Of course, that's really powerful. That is extremely powerful. Now, you did mention the newness of technology, the adaptability of technology, and the availability of technology. Do you think this industry that you're currently in is accessible to everyone? I'm not talking about just their circle of influence, just their community, just their social network fan base or follower base, or that's loud, fan base or follower base of things of that nature. But do you think even having the opportunity to be on local television accessible for those folks who are just turning on the TV with the click of their remote? Do you think that opportunity is accessible to others?
It isn't, and I hate that. And a big source of motivation is the fact that I want this to be accessible to everyone. I know that I had an advantage with my grandfather already having the show set in motion when I was born. He was about 22-ish years in when I was born. And so I know that I was definitely blessed in that regard. But it's unfortunate that this opportunity is not available, and even the information that I'm giving isn't available to everyone, because not everyone has television, not everyone has, not everyone has electricity.
Yeah.
And so a big goal that I want to set into motion when I get older is to set in place protocols and set in place things that'll allow me to give this opportunity to other young Black men and women, because I feel as though there aren't enough of us doing this. There aren't enough of us in media, period, but especially not in politics, not talking about politics, all that. Like when you think of the women that you see talking about politics or like economics on TV, you think of like the Rachel Maddows and the likes of her, and that's awesome. But if you ask the random Joe, hey, name a Black person that's on TV talking about politics or on TV talking about so and so, they would just go blank. And there's no reason that that should be, because there are too many Black people in this country for it to be, a novelty to see one of us doing something that's so regular for people who don't look like us.
Mm.
And so, yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, what's your current take on the latter end or the modern version of this Black Lives Matter movement that is currently going on? And if you feel like that'll make you go too big into a tangent, because there is one other question that I like to ask you that the audience actually asked you. It's, what social issue would you say is most important to you right now? If that is the Black Lives Matter movement, I would say talk about it. If it's not, talk about whatever social issue you currently are comfortable with talking about.
Yeah, this is great, because it is Black Lives Matter. And the way that I feel about it is, I think that it's a great movement. I think that a lot of the media has tried to turn it into something it's not. And I also feel like, it's one of those things that's up for interpretation. But the way that I view it and the way that I, what I believe is that it is just as simple as Black Lives Matter. There is no reason that we should be advocating for justice for people unjustly killed by people in power positions in its own video. There's no reason that people who look like us can't go jogging at night or can't go to the store at night. And a lot of folks think that all these Black Lives Matter, these protests and these hashtags and these events, they think that it's overkill. And they think that Black people are saying that we matter more than others. And it's not that. It is simply that we are equal. And that's what so many fail to realize. So many who immediately jump to well, all lives matter, not just Black lives. You're right. But if these people aren't getting equal treatment, then we need to kind of focus on that right now and, solve that before we can really say that all lives matter. Because, yeah, I believe that all lives do matter, but all lives can't until Black lives are valued and matter just as much as any other life.
Of course.
So I personally, I've cried a lot in the last few months, just seeing how powerful the movement's been, and it empowers me to continue to do what I do as someone who's really, I can't think of any other young Black people who are doing what I do, whether, in a grand scheme or like a small scheme. And it's discouraging. It can be really scary not having anyone who looks like you. I feel really out of place a lot of times when I go into the station that we record in, because oftentimes I'm one of like 3 Black people out of, say, a building with 50 to 80 people in it.
Do you think that the cell phone, as easily as accessible it is to I wouldn't say everyone, but most people who have a source of income or people providing for them, you don't think that the cell phone allows for a platform for people to voice their opinion to a wide audience outside of the social circle?
Oh, I think that it does. The cell phone, honestly, if IGTV and things like this were around in the 80s, that's what my grandfather would be doing. We wouldn't have this show.
Right.
And I think that the show and the message that he was trying to put out would spread further because like Instagram is extremely popular, and it's so great that you're doing this on here because it is so easy for anyone to just log in. And
Definitely.
it's awesome, man. The cell phone is great for stuff like this, and I'm really excited to see the media and the art that comes in like the next few years as technology continues to progress. It's gonna be great.
Are you currently working on anything outside of the live series or the network?
Well, actually, you inspired me with a conversation that we had maybe 2 days ago. You asked me, was I doing anything? And I wasn't at the time, but I actually, since then, I've been in contact with the Tennessee Tribune, which is a Black-owned publication here in Nashville. And I've been in talks with them about writing it, and it'll be the same kind of topics that I talk about on the show, but it'll be, on paper. And I think that would be a great way for me to continue to nurture my art while production is halted.
Get your catalog up then. Okay. So are you ever going to go into blogging or anything of that nature? I know not to say you only do it with that network, or with those 4 networks because it is on live television. But do you have any platforms in which everybody can follow you that you actually accurately and full throttle express yourselves in the way of being a humanitarian and an influencer that you do on the television show?
I don't yet, but I'm actually really wanting to start on that just about tonight because I never really felt the need for it. But until I was put in a position where I could no longer express my art, and I never expected that to happen.
Oh,
but
wow.
I am interested in really starting a blog or somewhere where people can follow my journey and continue to see my art and you share it and things like that.
Of course. Yeah, COVID did mess us up with making a lot of influencers, creatives, businesses, small businesses, large. All of them had to reevaluate the way how they accurately portray their mission and their vision, because you can never expect something that big to stop and halt everything the way how it did. But that's okay. We are getting close to that 30-minute mark, so it is almost time for us to bring on the next guest. But I do value the things that you were saying. I do think that the influential wave is very important for creatives nowadays. Creatives should not be seen as just people who create or people who are trying to make money from their creations, but creatives should also be the ones who are trying to portray a message, not for the benefit of themselves, but for the benefit of their community as well. So hopefully when you do create that blog or whatever platform that you feel would be best to accurately highlight your story and your voice, I can have you back on the show to talk about how your goal progressed from where it is today and where it has been for the past 10 years to where it will be moving forward for the next 10 years. So I appreciate you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
If there's anything that we can do to support you today leading up to this show or leading up to your platform that you're planning on releasing, what would you have the people do?
Man, I would just say tune in. If you're in Nashville or Davidson County or the surrounding counties, I would say tune in Saturday and Sunday mornings. We're on 5 to 7 in the morning, Saturdays and Sundays. Fox 17, the CW, My TV 30, and WUXP. The numbers tend to vary from company to company, but it's those channels.
Yeah, I just remember one, and I'm going to make sure I remember that one because that was a lot of them.
Okay, yeah.
What time?
6 and 7 in the morning.
Ooh, that is early.
I know. What I like to do is I like to fall asleep listening to the news because then I'll wake up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that would give me nightmares. Of course. But okay. Thank you so much for your time. It is time for me to bring on to the next guest. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
For sure. This next guest that I'm going to bring on, I have close-knit relationships with them. I've marched with them. They are a member of the aristocratic bands at Tennessee State University. I've played on a jam track with them, and for a project that they were I don't want to say currently working on because they have multiple projects up in their noggin that they're planning on releasing, but a project that they were working on in the past, and they call themselves the GOAT, and they have a way of proving that, to say the least. I'm introducing Curtis.
Dude,
He got the horn with him.
bro. What's
Curt, how
happening,
you living?
man?
Man,
Hey,
I cannot
man.
complain.
Hey, living and maintaining, dog. There's a lot going on.
For sure.
But, you know, we keeping our heads and minds right. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
Let me get the setup and everything. Can y'all hear me? Because I know I got these AirPods in. All right, cool.
It
For
sounds
sure.
good. All right,
For
well,
sure,
you
for
already
sure.
know what's next. It's the showcase of talent, because you have the horn with you. So go ahead and showcase your talent. Tell your story, Curt.
Um, yeah, something like that. Something like,
Was that off the dome? You didn't prepare
bro.
that, did you? That was off the dome?
No,
When I tell you,
I was
I
literally.
immediately I saw men with accents in suits in a black and white film, talking with a cigar in their mouth. You see, right? Like some things
Dude,
like that.
you wanna know
Literally,
what's crazy
that
though?
painted a picture. What'd you say?
Yeah, you wanna know what's crazy though, bro? I was like watching the first episode. I was watching Alana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was practicing,
Mm.
and I was just playing random lines, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. So it's just, I just, you know, and added some other stuff. I had a little brain fart in there, but you know,
That's turn.
yeah, you
Curtis,
know.
tell us about yourself, man. How long
Okay,
have you been
cool.
playing horn?
Well, first and foremost, man, like you said, I'm Curtis Olawumi, trumpeter and drummer and pianist. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing trumpet for going on 9 years now. Um, Funny story, I told you about this the other day. Trumpet wasn't my first instrument. I was a drummer, and I started playing drums at 4. And, you know, like I said, I used to just beat on everything in the house. And so I taught myself, and then once I got in like 4th grade, the band didn't have any trumpet players, so I was just like, I'll play trumpet. And then ever since then, yeah, we done got engaged and everything. This is my pride and joy. So yeah, man. Based
That's
out of
fine.
Atlanta, Georgia. Been playing jazz, bro. I didn't really start taking jazz seriously till 9th grade. Um, I joined this little R&B group in 8th grade, but you know, middle school mindset, it was just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing some music, you know what I mean, everything. But it got serious in 9th grade. Joined Georgia State's Rialto Jazz program, did that
Wow.
all 4 years through high school. And then I started playing around Atlanta, just started gigging with local artists, um, big time artists like you know, Melvin Jones, trumpeter for TLC, Kebby Williams, saxophonist for Outkast, Gordon Vernick, Joe Granson, Morgan Guerin,
How?
couple of my boys, Kevin Oliver, Marzi Harriet, Josh.
How? How?
Yo, it's crazy because like I'm actually like just friends with these dudes, and they was just like, oh well, this is my friend and she does such and such, or this is my friend and he does such and such, and I was just like, cool, well, we should play. You know what I'm
Networking is
saying?
that simple for you?
Bro, it's so simple because like these folks went to my school, you know what I'm saying? These folks in the same bands as me, and it's crazy because we do like the same summer camps, so we running each other there, and it's just like You know what I'm saying? You get their number, shoot a text, phone
Right.
call. You know what I'm saying? So it's real simple, man. You know what I'm saying? Knowing a lot of people and networking and stuff like that. It's not as hard as you think. You know
So
what I mean?
what's your inspiration behind music? What's the inspiration behind the music that you make? What inspired you to even get into music that made you beat on them drums as a 4-year-old? If you could think that back.
Dog, what's crazy is, man, I'm a rhythm person. Like, everything is rhythm. Everything that we do is rhythm, especially as black people. You know what I'm saying? If you walk, it's some kind of beat to it. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying, you hear a song, you start paying your heel or nodding your head or something. It's some type of feel. You feel me?
Of
And that's
course.
what music all is about. It's feel. You know what I'm saying? So my inspiration would probably be, man, it's really weird on how I just started playing, bro. I would say I got my butt kicked a few times.
Mm.
That was my inspiration. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
like
Most
whoopings from
musicians,
your parents?
no, musically getting my
Oh,
butt whooped.
okay. So
So,
you felt like you were the best, but somebody outshined you, and you was like, "All right, I got to go harder."
I mean, it wasn't even that. I mean, of course, in middle school, I was a little arrogant. You know what I'm saying? I got all the solos and everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. But once I hit high school and things started getting serious, and I seen all these other cats that were my age that was like doing all this stuff, and I was just like, that's what I want to do. So I just started going to jam sessions every week. Wednesday, Thursday jam sessions. I think Tuesday night jam sessions back in the day, when everything was open. When everything was open, you know what I'm saying? Um, and I just started just going up on the stage. You know, I didn't know any tunes. You know what I'm saying? And my teacher, Dr. Gordon Vernick, he was just like, if you want to be in this business, you got to learn, you know what I'm saying, some stuff. And I was just like, well, what you mean? And he literally gave me a list of songs to learn. And he said, this is the songs that you need to know by next Monday when I see you. Actually, not even next Monday, next Sunday during our lesson. We need to work on this stuff. So I'm like, all
That
right,
was a week. He gave you a week to
yeah,
learn it.
yeah.
Sheesh.
I know, right? He's just like, he was just like,
That's.
here, learn it. And I was just like, okay.
I already know how that lifestyle is. You ain't telling nobody who don't know.
Man, what? Bro, hectic, bro, hectic. But yeah,
Okay.
man, that's pretty much my inspiration behind this music thing. And I just been doing it, you know what I'm saying? You know, just
Well,
do it.
we know that your brand consists of you calling yourself the GOAT.
Um,
And a few people have been dropping goats in the chat right now.
yeah.
Because I
Shout
guess
out to
other
y'all
people
out
see
there,
it too.
man. Shout out to
Drop
y'all
goats if
out
you think
there.
Curt is the GOAT, but explain why you call yourself the GOAT.
Okay, man. Funny story. It's a story behind everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, got to high school, man, and I wasn't really like known. You feel me? Everybody knew my brother. You know what I'm saying? And his last name is the last name that stuck with everybody. And when folks found out that he had a younger brother, they was just like, "Bro, you got a brother?" And he was like, "Yeah, he do music." You know what I'm saying? So everybody trying to figure out who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one day we had a show at the school, and you know, I just played. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nobody, didn't nobody know me, but I was, you know, when I play that horn, they know who it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I played that horn, dog, and everybody was like, "Bro, you are a goat," and I was just like, "Okay," you know what I'm saying? At first, I, um, I thought somebody was just calling me an animal, a goat, and I was just like, "Oh wow," but you know, when I put it together, like you know how people call Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and stuff like that. So I was just like, goat, goat, goat. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right.
It
So I
resonated
took
with
it. Yeah, I took it and I just ran with it. And people just it was misunderstood at first. Cause people was like, oh, he calling himself the goat, he think he all that. But that's not the case. You feel me? I let my work and my work ethic classify myself as a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes,
if you
sir.
look at LeBron James, Tom Brady's, and the Mikes and the Kobe's and all that, just because they play sports and do something else, it's still the same thing. They put the work in. You feel me? And I was just like, all right, bet. So I'm gonna be a GOAT. and I do GOAT stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
they
sir.
be like, I bet you won't learn this the next day. I'd be like, bet. I come back the next day, it's memorized and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just putting in that work.
So you talk it up to number one, being confident in who you are. Number two,
Exactly, bro.
following through with everything that you're challenged with.
Exactly, bro.
And
like,
letting your actions speak from it.
Yeah. Because, man, a lot of people do a lot of talking.
Of course.
You feel me? A lot of people run their mouth, you feel me? And I don't really talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody can be like, oh, you think you the jump, I'm gonna just look at you and smile, big dog. You feel me? Because I know I'm the jump. I ain't finna sit there and just, I'm not finna go back and forth with you. You feel me? Like, it's a confidence thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you believe in yourself to do something, do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get to the point where you so simple minded and you just like, oh, well, I'm at this peak, I'm gonna stay right here because this peak is doing me good. Bro, you can climb the rest of the mountain. You feel me?
Yeah.
You can. It's some at the top. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be like, oh, I climbed the hill, I think I'm the jump. Nah, climb a mountain, climb another mountain. You know what I'm saying? Go out of space somewhere, do something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it seems like you're giving life tips more than music tips, man.
Bro, because you got to kind of correlate both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because people just dismiss personal life stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could be going through something. We all go through stuff. We all humans. You feel me?
Say that.
We all got our personal problems and personal issues.
That's
you know what I'm
right,
saying? But you don't have to sit here, beat yourself up about it, be discouraged about it, be down about it, be depressed about it, neglecting everything that's around you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's plenty of opportunities and there's people out here willing to help you. You know what I'm saying? And when I took that and I just applied it to the music, and I was just like, all right, cool. If people gonna help me, I'm finna go out here and help people. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody like for you, you know what I'm saying, and all these other artists out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay, they doing their thing. You feel me? Let me go dive in that. Let me go dibble and dab on what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Let me get an understanding of what they do and why they do it. You see what I'm saying?
Transfer of learning.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's more than a music thing. That's why I tell everybody. It's more than just me picking up this piece of metal and buzzing into it. It's more than that. You know what I'm saying? We telling stories. We expressing our feelings. We trying to get people to understand our world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, man, that's just how I look at everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why the GOAT thing, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, it's more than music. Like, you feel me? I'm a cool dude. You feel me? Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Let's flip the script.
Yeah.
Let's flip the script. You talking good. Let's see what you dislike. What do you feel like is your current weaknesses? What do you dislike about the music industry? What do you dislike about how folks express themselves in regards to their creativity, or how folks express themselves in regards to being viewed as a creative or as a musician? Speak on that a little bit for me.
Man, that's a good. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try not to get into too much detail because I've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the same wave. I can't
Yeah,
lie
bro.
to you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, what I don't like is, man, and it's the simple basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? What I don't like is, don't talk down on nobody because you don't know their situation. You
Yes,
get what
sir.
I'm saying? You could be in the same band or the same group as somebody, but you don't know what they got going on. They might sound the way they want to sound because that's how they want to sound, or they might play the way they want to play because that's how they want to play. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that misunderstand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to jam sessions and stuff like that. You know, you might have somebody on the stage just dibbling, dabbling, and going at it. You know, playing all the notes in the world, and you might have one of them old heads that's just like, man, these young bucks don't know what they doing. I mean, just because they didn't learn by your way doesn't mean they not trying to get to the same place that you at. You see what I'm saying? They trying to do what you doing, but you can't talk down on them because they're gonna get discouraged. Then they're not gonna be confident. Then it's fear. It's a fear thing. You feel me? They're gonna be like, I want to put this out, but I don't know. You feel me? That's just one thing, man. the thing I don't like about the music industry, man, is if somebody want to be an independent artist, let them be an independent artist. That's one thing that's just like slept on, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? People be like,
About it.
oh man, you doing this music, man. When you get older, make sure you read your contracts and do all this and do all that, and make sure you do this and this how you supposed to do it. Keep your money in check, blah 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 blah, all of that. But see, us as young adults and young musicians that look up to all these big name folks, we already see that because we studying that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We already see how the music industry game is. We already see how folks get slicked over by contracts. We already see that because people putting all these types of resources, all these documentaries and biographies and all. We already see that. So we making our own plan, you know what I'm saying, to maneuver our way through the music industry. So
I thought you was gonna lose me where you said folks is trying to tell you how to do things, and then you like, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm like, but ain't they just trying to help? But then you said we already know that is facts. So a lot of folks are trying to steer people the direction in which they feel is best for them.
that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, times are changing. It's 2020, not 1974, 1980, 1999. Stuff is different. You know what I mean? So and you said something else I don't like. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. And don't nobody in here get offended. Whoever's watching, don't get offended.
I might get offended.
Don't get offended. You feel me? Support your friends. That's out here grinding. That's out here trying to do something. We can be out here. We can be out. You know what I'm saying? Like, support your friends, man. Support your friends. You know what I'm saying? We can be out here doing some stupid stuff, but we gonna get this music together. You feel me? And we choosing not to do that stuff. So if your friend, you know what I'm saying, drop some music or say, hey man, share this or something. I mean, it don't take that long to support. You feel me? Because it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we doing our job right. You know what I'm saying? And it makes us keep going. You know what I'm saying? So support your friends. You feel me? I try to support everybody. You feel me? I try to dib and dab and everybody's stuff. But support your friends.
How do you define support and how do you define value?
Dog, if your friends, okay, for example, if you was to drop something tomorrow, because I see this every day on, I see this every day on social media. I see this every day. You feel me? If you was to drop something tomorrow, you might say out on all streaming platforms, go, tune in, go stream, go buy, you feel me? Go do whatever you got to do to support. That's all you asking for is the support. And then you ask people to share it. You feel me? We taking time out to ask people this stuff. Keep that in mind. So if you was to drop something tomorrow and you got that same target audience, right? You got those same folks that repost and that share and stuff like that. It's really the problem. The issue comes when those folks start sharing to other people and they start sharing to other people. You feel me?
Not a problem. That's the good thing, ain't it?
No, but you see, like, some folks get caught up and they be like, oh, here a little young dude, I'm going to listen to it. And then I'm going to just brush it off. You know what I'm saying? See, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big difference in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool that your music getting out there. You know what I'm saying? But, like, get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some stuff out there. And then, on the artist part, it is our job to get our stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? We just can't put it out there one day and expect 1 million likes and 1 million streams.
Yeah,
the next day.
work hard after they drop it.
Exactly. Like, stuff don't happen overnight. Moral of the story. You know what I'm saying?
What
So,
you
I mean,
working on?
me, dog. So, next month, I'm dropping something. I'm dropping an album. And,
A whole month from now.
yeah,
What's the date? You already know?
probably the 30th of September. Because, we got to go back to school and they're giving us on lockdown and all that other stuff. But as soon as that's a wrap, I'm going to the studio.
Facts.
And literally, I'm doing everything in one day, like one sitting by myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm dropping something next month, man. And the story behind this project is, you know, of course, of the pandemic and everything, I had to postpone Goated, the album. I had to
Yeah.
postpone that. You know what I'm saying? So, what I did was I took a step back and just self-reflected, like everybody else did that was on this pandemic, that took advantage of the pandemic. Let me say that. And what I did was I was just like, man, let me share my personal story so people can see why I am the way I am. You feel me? And it's real personal. Like stuff has happened over this pandemic. You feel me? Good and bad. So what I did was you straight?
Yeah. My bad.
So what I did was man, I took my personal life and just put it in my music. And I'll literally be sending my room a voice memo on my phone, sing an idea or play an idea, and it's already there. You feel me? Like I ain't got to chart nothing out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to write nothing because it's already there. Because it's personal. Like it's coming from here. You know what I'm saying? So
So yeah.
be on the lookout for that. Go get that.
Hey, September 30th. I already got
Yeah,
it locked in the brain. I'm to add it
yeah,
to the calendar.
yeah. So go get that album,
Okay.
man, when it
That's
comes
the
out,
major
man.
announcement you've been dropping?
Bro, that's the major. And I was gonna wait till my birthday, but I'm gonna drop something else. I mean, it's a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to what's happening. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I'm
But
already knowing
that's
how it comes when it
that's
comes to big projects.
yeah, that's part of the announcement. So yeah, y'all just be on the lookout. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So there
It's coming
is
real
another
soon.
announcement prior
Yeah,
to that. Okay.
yeah,
Respect. You
yeah,
talked about
man.
telling your
So
story, and you talked about how you record something and it comes from the heart and it's already there. So that lets me know that you focus heavily on vulnerability and your emotions at the time whenever
yeah,
you're creating.
yeah, man. I mean, like I said, music is all about feeling. You know what I'm saying? See, some people get caught up in what they sound like and what they need to sound like. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just playing what they feel. It's a big difference. And that's what every aspect of music, whether you producing, whether you singing, whether you play, whether you in a marching band or the jazz band, whatever band you in, is all about feel. You know what I'm saying? And then us as artists, man, we just get caught up in what we supposed to sound like. You know what I'm saying? We listen to all these other people and we just like, man, I need to sound like that. And we be drilling ourselves and we just get we dismiss the emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because we be so focused on getting it. We be so focusing on getting it. You know what I'm saying? Then we get frustrated. You see what I'm saying? When we don't get it. It's like it's all a process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So play what you feel. Like, seriously. If you really just sit down in a room and just play what you feel, man, for real. Ain't
I feel
nobody
that.
ain't nobody judging, ain't nobody listening but you. And just play what you feel.
So make it personal.
Yeah.
I
Like,
guess
for
that
real.
I guess that ties into a question that was asked by an audience member. How do you reach your peak confidence level?
Oh man. Getting thrown in the water. Gotta learn how to swim on my own.
Okay.
You feel me? Some folks
What
get
about
thrown in the water with a float.
mm,
I didn't get thrown in the water with no float. I literally had to go out there and get it. So that came with going to a belt line and playing. That came to stepping out in front of large audiences. That came to festivals, playing at festivals and stuff. I wasn't comfortable with that because I ain't never did that before. And when people were just like, "Man, you got it," and I'm like,
somebody in the audience said drowning.
and,
No,
and
that's
somebody
facts.
and somebody was like, "Man, you got it. Just go do it." And I was just like, you know what? F it. Let's do it. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? And when you get that mentality, bro, that's it. You just
That's
on
right.
go. You on go,
Literally,
bro.
I just tweeted that the other day. I said I put myself in predicaments to what did I say? I put myself in predicaments so that I have to do what I set my mind to, or so that I have to achieve my goal, because I don't want
Yes.
to allow myself to be a failure or be left with regret or something of that nature. I have to throw myself in the water. Of course, I know that water is cold. Everybody get in the pool, tap their little toe in first because they know
Exactly,
that water
bro.
is cold. I
Exactly, bro.
can't swim myself, personally speaking. I ain't even talk about music analogies no more. I can't swim myself. But best believe, after the 15 minutes pass, I am going to go underwater, come back up, and be like,
bro.
all right, bet. Let's get to it. Because that's the only way that you can do it.
Bro, and bro, like, that's the only way. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, and what get me is they be like, man, you so young. You know what I'm saying? But how do you like, how do you have like this? How did you develop this mentality? You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, you just gotta get an understanding with yourself before you can get an understanding with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Paul, man. I see the comments.
Shout out you too, man.
Shout out JP, man. So yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was gonna comment on that "you so young" thing that you just said. That don't mean nothing. Just like how Alana was on the previous guest prior to this.
Exactly.
8 years old on local television networks, 4 different networks.
Exactly.
Literally talking about humanitarianism, literally talking about black rights, talking about racial injustice, talking about Russian revolutions, the whole 9 yards at the age of 8. When folks say anything when it comes to age, that don't mean nothing to me. That don't even sit with me no more.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, and it's sat with me, bro, because I was like, bro, I'm so young, and like all my musician friends and folks, they like older. You know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. But see, instead of just like losing my mind, bro, I literally just like watch them do what they do. You feel me? And now I just like do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, I don't care nothing about no age. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, you're so young. Like it's real out here. People would doubt you just because of your age. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Okay, we got like 4 questions, and we got like
all right,
3 minutes. Hopefully,
let's get it. We'll knock them out.
Instagram Live don't drop us out.
We'll knock them out.
The time when you had to overcome something in music.
When I got to college.
Say that. Speak on it.
When I got to college, I didn't really, not even when I got to college, bro. It was like later on in my high school, about to get ready to go to college type thing.
Okay.
And I didn't practice.
What?
Like I'm so serious. Like I didn't practice. Like I literally have this horn sitting out, and I would just look at it and just be like, "Oh, I'll practice some other time." And then that other time come around, and I didn't practice. Now all of a sudden, my time is wasted. So time management is something I had to overcome in music. You feel me?
And that was prior to college, right?
Yeah. And when I got to college, time management was everything, especially for, you know what I'm saying, with marching band and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Let's cut that short.
Yeah.
If you can give someone new to the game and just starting out some advice, what would it be? I'm thinking you already answered that. That's the just do it mentality that you've been trying to give folks.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Anything else though?
It takes trust to try. You feel me?
I like that.
Trust yourself to try something.
I'm gonna write that down.
It
takes trust.
It takes trust to try, bro. Trust yourself to try.
The book with me.
Yeah, trust yourself to try something. So that'll be something. That'll be something.
The banner is going across the screen at the top, telling me 40 seconds left.
All right,
how can we support you?
Oh, go cop the album that I'm dropping. And then stream the Atlanta Beltline, man. That single's still out there. So
you want streams?
Yeah,
Atlanta Beltline.
Stream that. You know what I'm saying? Like go out there, share it. You know what I'm saying? Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play Music, any other music platforms there is. Atlanta Beltline out there. So go out there, listen to that, man. I will ask a question, but y'all don't have time. DM me. I'll respond. DM me.
Of course. Don't be afraid to DM. I appreciate everybody for tapping into this live. If you were just tapping into the live just to view the show, if you were tapping in to support Curt, however it may be, this happened. Well, there you have it. That concludes this episode of Let's Talk Gold Talk. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you intend on watching more. And follow me on Instagram if you're trying to catch the live when it actually does occur. Peace.